أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. We continue inshallah with this class, and before we start and before we continue the project that we started a couple of weeks ago about diagnosing the problem, finding a solution in regards to recruiting volunteers in the month of Ramadan for Masjid Salam. I want to mention a few things first. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He praised this ummah, the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, "كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله." You are the best nation raised for mankind. You are enjoying good and you forbid bad and you believe in Allah. So that's a system. He did not say you're the chosen ones, and period. Chosen ones because you are the chosen ones. No. Chosen ones because you enjoy good, you forbid bad, and you believe in Allah. Believing in Allah is the relationship with Allah, is your faith. Enjoying good and forbid bad is your relationship with others. It is based on the benefit. It's based on good for humanity. It's based on identifying what is right and follow it and advocate for it and inviting others to join it, identifying the wrong and avoid it, and warning others from falling into the traps of doing bad, and so on. Also, Allah Azza wa Jal, when He praised this ummah again, He said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. And that's how we made you a medium nation, a moderate nation. So you become witness against everybody, and the Prophet would be witness against you. Meaning, whatever you do, when you do good and you follow the way of Allah, Allah make you as the point of reference for everybody. As the point of reference for everybody. That Allah made you a moderate nation, so you become the point of reference. تكون شهداء على الناس. How you witness against people? You say who's wrong and who's right. Based on what? Based on you. I am a moderate nation. Allah made us, not me stating that. No, Allah made us a moderate nation. And when Allah made us a moderate nation, we became a point of reference for everybody. Everybody would be judged according to us. See? So that's again a system. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed us with his example in many narrations, many ahadith. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the best among you is the one who does 1, 2, 3. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Afshu salam." You diffuse and spread salam, and feed people. وَأَطْعِمُوا الطَّعَامِ, feed the poor. وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٌ, and pray at night while everybody is asleep. You will enter Jannah with salam. تدخلوا الجنة بالسلام. بسلام. You will enter Jannah with peace. So the Prophet ﷺ told us, again, it's a system. If your goal is to enter Jannah, here are the things you should do. Is spread salam among yourselves. Means, this is again people. You're going to spread salam among people, spread peace among people, saying assalamu alaikum, everybody telling everybody assalamu alaikum. And you feed the needy and the poor, and you feed others. This is the ibadah, when you feed people. And you pray at night, tahajjud, that's extra. Then you'll enter Jannah. You get into Jannah. So again, he gives us a system. Also, in the hadith of Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him when he sent him to Yemen, people of Yemen came to accept Islam and they left. Now they need somebody to teach them. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent it for them, Mu'adh ibn Jabal. He said, now you are going to enter the land of people who are new to this religion of Islam. So when you meet with them, invite them to worship Allah alone. Tell them that being a Muslim, you have to say the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So you say the kalima, the Shahada. Once you know this in their heart and they are abiding by it, then tell them that Allah Azza wa Jal obligated them to pray 5 times a day. 5 times a day. So they pray 5 times a day. And then when they do that, tell them that Allah Azza wa Jal ordered them or obligated on them a certain portion of their money go from the rich to their poor. So again, it's giving him a system. So what is an issue? The issue of people who do not know about Islam. And so basically, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam here identified an issue. The issue here is people who do not know about Islam, and if you give it to them at once, you overwhelm them, they might not be able to do what you want them to do. So he provided the strategy here. The strategy here is to what to say first, what to say second, and when to say it and how to say it. So our religion of Islam is not strange to setting priorities and having a strategy, strategizing, and identifying the issues and problems. You know, Islam is not strange. That's the deen of Allah. It identifies the problem. It identifies the problem. Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, وَلَوْ أَنَّ أَهْلَ الْقُرَى آمَنُوا وَاتَّقَوْا لَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَرَكَاتٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. If the people of the towns, they believe and they have had fear of Allah, would have opened the blessings of Allah from heavens and earth on them. So that means what? That means that if we don't, you don't get that. That's the cause and effect. See, that's what we started last week. Cause and effect. This is happening because of this, and if this is happening, this is going to result. Yeah. So that is the idea. So basically, what we're studying here is not strange from the deen of Islam, and the deen of Islam is not strange from it. So we're studying a class. You're saying, oh, it is like an MPA class. Of course it is. But our deen of Islam does not separate the secular knowledge from Islam. It never did. It never did. We did that. It's strange. That's why it becomes very strange when you are expecting the sheikh to speak only about the rituals, or speak only about the things, and that in itself is a result of us separating the deen from our lives. Oh, the sheikh is speaking about math, or the sheikh is teaching giving medical advice, not medical advice in a professional way, but how come do you know all these things about vitamins and about? Of course I do. I study. Let me tell you something nice. When I started doing my PhD, like about 4 years ago, I found something very interesting. I want to share that with you, sisters. That idea of research. What is it found in? Like, what is the root of it? Like, what does research mean? I'm asking you now. Sisters, you can tell me what does research mean? Any sister? Can unmute yourself.
Particular topic.
Say it again.
Search again about a particular topic, like whatever has been searched, build on it.
Yeah, because the word research, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Collecting historical data, basically, yeah.
Good. What else?
Collecting all information from all sources about a subject that you're researching.
Good. Very good. What else? Good. So from those answers, basically you can get one idea. That idea is, I want information or more information about something I'm interested in. Interested here, it means like it's bothering me, or interested here means I need it. Interested in means I'm studying it. Interested in is required from me. It doesn't matter, right? What is the reason? But the reason is something of interest to you now. Now you need to know something. So you go and research it. But here, the research means you are doing it again. What does mean doing it again mean? Means you're doing it extensively, doing it in depth. People know it in a certain way, but you go know it in a more, academic way, or in a more interesting way, on a deeper way, on a wider level. And that's what research is. So anyways, when I started researching for my PhD, I found that lots of information that we have, we just take it for granted, and there's hearsay. And if somebody asking you why, what is the dalil on that? You stand there and you don't know what to do. Yeah, you don't know what to do. If I ask you what is a problem, you see, oh, this is a problem. What do you mean by this is a problem? Why you said about something, it is a problem? What do you mean by that? Say, I can't do it, but don't say it's a problem. I can't do it. And a problem, إشكال, يعني in Arabic, that means it is, for a common person, it's problematic to understand. So you need extra education for it. But everything is a problem. If you say, I can't do this, whatever. So what is a problem? How do you identify a problem? How you make sure that what you say is a problem is actually a problem? And if you find out that it is a problem, what are you going to do about it? What is the first step, second step, third step, fourth step, until you get a solution? So now that research taught me that most of the things that we have, we take it for granted. And also another issue is that your trust sometimes is given without condition when it needs to be with condition. And it is given with condition when it needs to be unconditioned. What do I mean by that? Trust Allah Azza wa Jal unconditionally. Say, I trust you if you give me that. That doesn't apply with Allah Azza wa Jal. Trust the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam unconditionally. Trusted the Quran unconditionally. You trusted the Sunnah, that it's proven it is a Sunnah, unconditionally. Because I don't want anybody to come and say, maybe there is a weak hadith. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Sunnah that is verified, it is authentic. You trust that unconditionally. You don't have second opinions, second thoughts. How about trusting another person? Trusting your spouse? There are conditions for that. You go to the doctor, you trust unconditionally, while you're supposed to trust conditionally. See? So what I learned is, like, every medical website or medical resource that you go to, they say, talk to your doctor about it. How many times you heard that? Talk to your doctor about it. Consult with your doctor before. Means there has to be conversation. You don't take the word of the doctor as if it's Quran. Yani. The doctor needs to know that you are well informed. So I learned that before I go to the doctor for any cause, I know my symptoms. I know how often they are. I have a list of my medications, okay, and the dosage and the concentration of the medication. So it's a simple description of the medication. Is it 500 milligrams? It is MCG, or what is it? Like what unit they use and how it is used, and what does that mean? What does that unit mean? What does that exactly mean? It's for layperson, and information is available there. I go to Mayo Clinic, Mayo Clinic website, and it is there in different languages, and I read in it extensively. I understand. This is a trusted, resource. And I go talk to my doctor, but I'm well informed. And maybe my education and my information is not like him, like a medical expertise, medical experience, a medical expert. No, I don't have that expertise, but I talk to him. Now the doctor knows I am not like an average person. Now he knows that I know something. Then the interest is developed now. The appreciation is developed now. then he will tell me. Many people do not know the difference between a virus and a bacteria, viral infection, bacterial infection. Many people do not know what is the normal blood pressure, ratio. Many people do not know what is the pulse. Many people do not know what is the difference between an artery and a vein. Don't know those things. Why? Really, really, why? I don't know. This essential knowledge about your own health. Exactly like people do not know the essential knowledge about their deen. Exactly the same. But they know the essential thing about money, about food. They do know the details of that. SubhanAllah, we came this close to animals, like we know more about material things than we know about any spiritual or like mental or intellectual. We don't. I wonder really why I was like that. Why really we spend our life day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, without gaining essential knowledge about us, about me, about you, about humans, about why we live in here and what we can do to utilize the assets Allah give us, physical and social and material, how we use them to serve. So when we're talking about these modules and about these diagrams and all of that, I want you to understand that this is being a Muslim. It's actually being a Muslim. You're supposed to know those things. Supposed to be the best in these things. We're supposed to come up with our diagrams, with our new models for humanity. And the people who invented this Ishikawa frame, Ishikawa diagram, or the fish bone. Ishikawa in Japanese means fish bone. So Ishikawa, there are human beings who invented this model to solve problems. Why? Because they really thought about humanity. They really thought about them out of myself. How can I help people help themselves? That's the job of a Muslim, and that's why we're using these things. And then you need to just really don't just follow it blindly. You can modify it. You can make it better. You can say, I tried it in a different way. I tried it in a different method. And here it is. And you start applying it and see if it works, or if it works better, or if it works worse, or just something, do something. And if we all start doing that and our children start doing that, of course, we come back on track again as Muslims and we benefit humanity around us. But as long as we are staying focused on our selfish needs, it's very narrow, it's very shallow. Light, it hurts. It's very narrow and very shallow. You'll find the parents, father, mother, or husband and wife, are very narrow-minded and very shallow vision. When I see that their main thing is to go to work and drive a fancy car and live in a luxury house, come on, what is after that? Is this the dunya for you? Is that all? To have like jewelry and to go eat in this restaurant and that restaurant, then what? When you go put your head on your bed, are you satisfied? Are you really, really, really satisfied that you are really Abdullah or Amatullah? You are the real servant of Allah on this earth? That I may die now? This bed can be the last thing I touch, or this. When I close my eyes, it will never open again. That's a possibility. Am I ready for what comes after? Did my day go in a way that prepares me for Akhirah? Huh? We wake up in the morning, we take everything for granted, or we sleep and I'm going to close my eyes and I open it for a new day. Why take that for granted? What if it doesn't happen? And one day it's not going to happen, and that day is random. It can be any day. Can you tell yourself in good conscience before you close your eyes that, alhamdulillah, I'm ready? Today was a day that, prepares me for meeting Allah Azza wa Jalla. If I meet Allah, I tell me, Allah, woke up in the morning and I prayed and I did this and I did this. And the last thing I did is my witr and make dua qunut for you, Ya Allah. And now I'm saying in your name and I sleep. Can you in good conscience say that every single night? If you do, alhamdulillah, mashallah. But if you don't, then you need to reevaluate everything. So this fishbone diagram, I want you to use it also. And you have a problem in your relationship with Allah. You have a problem in relationship with your spouse. You have a problem in relationship with your children. You have a problem with your relationship with the community. Okay, you have a problem with your budget. You know, you have a problem with your studies, and then find out the main causes, and then you find the subcategories, and then we're going to analyze them together. You know, like we're going to do now. You analyze them after that. Then you see who are the stakeholders in that. Then you see who's powerful and who's affecting this and who's impacting that. Until at the end, the solution is going to pop up in your face. So what I'm trying to say here is like, this is Islam, you know. It's not like something strange. You know, this is actually Islam for us. So without any further ado, I hope that you did something with last week's diagram. So how many of you did something with it? You can tell me about your experience with the fishbone diagram.
So Sheikh, I haven't done a physical thing with it yet. And inshallah, we were thinking that once we meet in person, we would be bringing in, you know, a fish diagram with every person, you know, on whatever problem they are trying to solve. So for example, I'm doing one for relationships. You know, what are the things that affect relationships? What are the counterparts that, you know, affect the whole things? And then inshallah, we could sit together and work on the solutions that can help with the relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want you to understand also a few things. This is a way just to make your issues visible in front of you. There's not a solution. There's not a solution. Those diagrams and those, you know, processes is to help you see things in the same place instead of being distracted. People come to me in the office with issues. Sheikh, this. I have a problem with my husband. What is the problem with your husband? Oh, he does not give me the respect I need. Okay, what is respect? He doesn't know. What is the respect that you need? Summarize. Tell me what is the respect you need. She doesn't know. Okay, draw me a picture that your husband is actually giving you the respect that you need. But give me a typical day that you can say at the end, opposite of what you said now. My husband doesn't give me the respect that I need. I want you to come one day and say, by the way, Sheikh, my husband is a very good man. He gives me the respect I need. Now, describe. She doesn't know. And then when a husband comes and he said, you know, my wife is not obedient. She doesn't listen to me. Okay, how does she listen to you? And when you talk, she cuts you off. He said, no, actually, on the contrary, she's very quiet. So she's listening to you. So what do you mean? Oh, she's not obeying. So what is obedience in your estimation or your evaluation? He doesn't know. Okay, tell me like a day that your wife obeyed you. Is she completely disobedient since you guys got married? She says, no. Everything that you want, yes. She says, no. I said, no. I said, okay, did you ask your wife to do something and she did? She said, yeah, many times. She says, I mean, she's obedient, more than she's disobedient. So basically, what is the problem here? It's not the problem. They are not actually complaining about the problem. They're not. You know, people come to you, they're not complaining with the problem. The teacher will come to you and say, Sheikh, my class I have a problem. I said, so the kids are shouting in the class and I cannot explain. And okay, do you tell them to be quiet? He said, yeah, but they're still shouting. They're quiet and then they shout again. And every time they still shout again. So I asked him, do you think shouting is the problem here? Is the shouting the problem? You know, actually the problem is what caused this to happen. You don't see it though. You just don't see it. Maybe it is one action that you do unintentionally or unconsciously that triggers this shouting. You don't know. Maybe they have something among themselves, a code or something like that, then they start shouting. So you have to eliminate that cause, you know, define the problem and define what causes the problem. See, you don't know even where the problem, let alone knowing the causes of the problem, you know. So that's why, you know, you have to identify where is the problem. So that teacher, okay, you have to tell me, Mr. Teacher here, from the time you wake up in the morning until you enter your class, what is your routine? And you have to tell me also the process or the procedure from the minute the kids enter the school until they sit in front of you in the class. You have to describe all of that. All this information you have to put. I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I make wudu, I do prayer, and I take my car and I go to the gas station and all of that until, you know, I enter. And for the kids, they wake up in the morning, you know, their parents drop them in the school, and for each of those steps, you find what is the anomaly, what is the problem, what is the different thing, the different thing. When I do this at home, I don't eat my breakfast well. Maybe you don't eat your breakfast. You don't eat your breakfast. You come groggy to the class. You look lazy. You sound like less and less interesting. So the kids start shouting. Maybe this is the problem. I'm just giving you, maybe this is a problem. Or, you know, the school starts very early. The kids are like, you know, they needed to sleep extra. They don't sleep well, and they start shouting. Maybe this is the problem. Or maybe the kids eat something in the breakfast that have lots of sugar. They become hyper. This is the problem. Okay? So basically, you are not complaining about the problem. You know, you sometimes that husband who said, my wife is not obedient, maybe he misunderstood the obedience. What obedience mean? You think like your wife is like, you know, like a slave, like you have to tell her, and she said, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And the minute she says, no, I'm tired or something like that, she's disobedient. If this is your idea, you have the problem. And if the wife thinks that the respect I deserve is the respect I think it is respect, it's not the respect I deserve. Like, who are you and what do you deserve? Like, what makes you different from others? Because when somebody said the respect I deserve, you know that they have an issue. You know they have an issue because they are expecting something different from others. It's all in the talk, you know, the words, the keys. They are keys for everything. So when you listen more and you listen more actively and attentively, you're gonna see those keys for people, and you start like smiling inside of yourself. Like you say, "Oh my God, no, not again." That's not what they're saying. You know, like, you know, you kind of understand what is happening here from people when they started talking. You know, amazing, right? Like once I took my PhD and people started calling me doctor, which not necessarily I like, but so lots of people in Masjid Salam, you laugh at this one, in Masjid Salam, lots of brothers that I knew for 5-6 years, and then they come and, you know, they start identifying themselves as Dr. such and such, as if I need to know that they are doctors too. So it's like, Sheikh, if you need anything, when you go there, tell them Dr. such and such says. Okay, I know you as brother such and such, and you know me as Sheikh Mamdouh, but now since I am Dr. Sheikh Mamdouh, now you want to tell me that you're a doctor too? That's a key of insecurity, It's a key of insecurity. Like people think like being a doctor means you're above others or something. No, it's not like that. So this is the key. When people like talk and, husband and wife, I tell people when they enter my office, I know exactly what is the issue. How many of you enter my office? I think most of you entered my office before. You see that I'm sitting on a desk and there are 2 black chairs in front of that desk, leather black chairs. And then there is a brown couch after that. See the setting? I want you to think about the setting for a minute here. So when you enter there, you'll find me sitting. There's a chair, there is a desk in front of me, and there are 2 chairs there with a small table, coffee table in the middle. like any professional, desk, 1, 2 chairs there. And then there's a couch across from me on the other side of the room. So there are 2 people enter, with a husband and wife, and 2 people, they have some issue. And I let them sit down. I open the door and I stand beside the door. And I tell them, please sit down, please have a seat. So sometimes they sit facing each other. Sometimes they sit on the couch on one side, both of them, right or left, or one in the left, one on the right, or both of them sit in the middle of the couch. So what analysis can you make? Anybody can tell me? What's the difference? Unmute yourself if you want to talk.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Just the body language tells a lot. When we're sitting where
Of
and how.
course. You see, they are sitting on both sides of the couch. If they are like in their churches, they'll not come in the same car, and they are sitting on the other side of the couch because they need premarital counseling. I understand that. But when husband and wife for 10 years or 15 or 20 years, and each one is sitting all the way, and you find that they are leaning opposite to each other, they are like leaning on the couch opposite to each other. So the further they could go, they will do it. And that tells you, subhanAllah, body language never lies. It gives you the cue right away. They don't look at each other when they're talking. And then when they start using the third person, she did, he did, Sometimes, you find the person talking about the names. They said, Muhammad said, Ammar said, Aisha said, Nadia did. That means there's endearment. There's like, they like each other, they love each other, but they have not happy. He did, she did. And sometimes they wave with their hand like that. All the time, Sheikh, she is like that, and they're pointing their fingers at her. All the time, Sheikh, he is, like this. He doesn't care. You see, the hand is like doing like this. This is husband right there. He's throwing him behind you. So it's like amazing, right? So people like give things. So okay, so they listed all of these. This is not the problem. Maybe the problem is you. What do you mean, Sheikh? It's me. People, you have expectations that they do not actually exist. Those are not expectations you have from your spouse. This is expectation you have from your son or your daughter, maybe from your dad or your mom, maybe. But this is your spouse. So you are the problem. They are not the problem. No, not necessarily, not all the time. So that's why I chose this, of course, identifying the problem. Before you set your priorities, before you do strategies, you have to identify the issue. So this fishbone thing, we'll go back to it. It is more of a visible way to see the issue. So what would be the first step that you do when you have an issue and you wanted to see where is the problem? You write everything about it. It's called a brain dump. Brain dump. So you go to a sheet and you write everything. Our topic was recruiting volunteers in Ramadan. So you're going to say recruiting volunteers, community, masjid, administration, Sheikh Mamdouh, Brother Nader, Brother Riza, Sister Noura, the kids, the youth, the babysitting. Write everything. Random. Right? Then after that, you're going to put in the head of the fish bone the problem, which is recruiting volunteers for the month of Ramadan at Masjid Salam. That's our problem now. Then you go through this list here. Try to categorize them. All things relating to money, put it under financial. All things relating to administration, put it administration. All things relating to volunteers, put it volunteers. All things relating to the recruiting officer, the recruiter, you put in under recruiter. Okay. So now we came up with this. So you see that the blue squares, and don't overdo it. So 3 up, 3 down, that would be the best, right? Don't go more than 6. Because it's going to expand from you now, as you'll see. So keep them like that. And try to put categories, put many things in the same category. So we said unclear role definition. And we say that, having interest in something, motivation, interest, right? And the information from the management. We have logistics, we have accountability, we have finances. So those are the main categories that causes the problem or leads to that problem of having hard time recruiting volunteers. So we have a problem with recruiting volunteers in the month of Ramadan and any other place, but especially in the month of Ramadan. So when you say interest, for example, it's motivation. Maybe the masjid is not motivated, or the volunteers are not motivated. What is the add value when I volunteer? Retention, like what do I get after from that? Right? The unclear role definition, what's the scope of assignment? What's the qualification? Like, what do I volunteer for? Okay, I want to volunteer, Sheikh, I'm ready to volunteer. I could say, Jum'ah, please volunteer. I have 50 years, Sheikh, I'm ready to volunteer. They go to the office and say, I don't know, just give me your name. We'll talk later. They lost interest right there. But if you go to the office at the masjid, and there's a board in the back saying, volunteering opportunities, and then you have like education, sports, this, and then under each one, or in the website, forget about on the website, a diagram that's saying volunteering opportunities. Under that, education, religious, sports, and other education. We have like continuous programs. We have this, we have that. Religious, we have Ramadan, and under Ramadan we have like that subcategories. Then the person goes and clicks on exactly what they can and want to do because they clicked on it. Well, I'm interested in this one, babysitting in the month of Ramadan. And then she reads the qualification. Well, I don't qualify, so exit. Try to click on something again. Or she found that the babysitting in Ramadan and I fit in it qualification, but the add value is not good, the pay is not good. Then they give us that feedback to the masjid, that feedback, I think $10 an hour is not good, 15 to 18 would be great. That feedback comes, then we meet, and then let's do it. $15 it is. We go there, and an email goes to that sister or that brother. Well, the pay changed, then they go click. Yes, that's the description I want, that's the qualification I want, that's the add value I want, I'm in. Then from the back end, we have the babysitters we want. This is blocked now. They go click, it's done, sold, finished. Find another opportunity. See? Now, I'm not jumping to solutions. I'm just giving you an example of an existing successful model. Maybe that's doesn't fit us. Maybe it doesn't fit us. So I'm just giving you an example there. So scope of assignment, qualification, or the contact person. And you may actually come off the scope of assignment and get another arrow, another subcategory. But at the end of this diagram, you're going to consolidate the subcategories. You're going to go down and analyze that. So the next step to this fishbone to analyze it.